Hello, friends. Are you ready to explore the fascinating world of Mutya ing Section E? Released on January 3, 2025. This film has sparked endless discussions, and today, we're bringing you all the hidden gems, stunning details, and unforgettable moments. If you enjoy this deep dive, be sure to hit that like button. It really helps our channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more exciting movie explorations. Let's jump right in and uncover the magic together. Mutya ing Section E, a captivating journey that blends romance, comedy, and self-discovery, was officially released on January 3, 2025, and from the moment it hit the screen, it had audiences buzzing with excitement. Whether you're a fan of Filipino cinema, a lover of high school dramas, or someone who craves a heartfelt story with humor and emotional depth, this movie has something for everyone. The film transports viewers into the whirlwind life of J.J. Mariano, a young and talented singer, whose unexpected arrival at the elite higher-value international school leads her into a world of chaos, unexpected friendships, and untold emotional growth. What truly makes Mutya ing Section E stand out is its seamless fusion of comedy, romance, and coming-of-age themes. The film isn't just another high school drama. It's a powerful exploration of self-identity, the bonds we form with others, and the transformative power of love and friendship. Its relatability, along with a fresh and modern take on the high school experience, ensures that it resonates with a wide audience. But what makes it worthy of a deep dive are the hidden layers beneath its humor and charm, from its standout performances to its unexpected twists that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Let's break down why this movie is so much more than what it seems on the surface. From the opening scenes, we're introduced to JJ, played by the charismatic Ashtine Olviga. She's not your typical high school student. JJ is a budding pop star, a girl who has already tasted a bit of fame, but is now in the process of finding herself outside the limelight. Life takes a surprising turn when she's forced to transfer to a prestigious institution, Higher Value International School. This is where the story truly begins, as she enters Section E, a class infamous for being the school's most unruly group of students. The moment she steps into their chaotic world, everything changes. The film's suspense builds gradually as we follow JJ through her journey, which is filled with laughter, heartache, and moments of self-discovery. At the heart of the story is the unexpected clash between JJ and Mark Kiefer Watson, the charismatic yet cocky class president of Section E, played by Muhlach. Mark is everything JJ isn't expecting in a schoolmate: intelligent, popular, and utterly frustrating. He doesn't understand her, nor does he seem to care at first, and the tension between them is palpable from the start. However, as the two characters continue to cross paths, sparks fly, both in the form of heated arguments and undeniable chemistry. The film crafts an engaging narrative around their dynamic, gradually peeling back the layers of their personalities, showing us that there's more to Mark than meets the eye, and more to JJ's struggle than her outward success. The film makes you root for their connection, even as the characters themselves are often caught in their own webs of pride, misunderstandings, and personal dilemmas. But their relationship is far from being the only focal point in the film. Mutya ing Section E also delves deep into the unique dynamics of Section E itself. The rowdy group of 16 boys each have their own personalities, but they're all bound by one thing: their loyalty to their president, Mark. As JJ's journey unfolds, we are given glimpses into the individual lives of these students, each of them struggling with their own set of challenges, from their academic lives to their personal aspirations and insecurities. These supporting characters are not mere background noise. They're integral to JJ's growth and to the overall theme of the film, which focuses on the power of friendship and the complicated nature of youth. Whether it's the shy yet ambitious Yuri Hanamichi, portrayed by Rabin, or the carefree troublemaker who eventually becomes JJ's ally, every character plays a part in shaping the story's direction. But it's not just the storyline or the characters that make Mutya ing Section E so captivating. The movie's stunning visuals and cinematography play a crucial role in immersing us into this world. The vibrant school campus, the bustling classrooms, the intimate yet lively atmosphere. All of these elements are captured with precision, creating a sense of place that feels both familiar and exciting. The filmmakers use lighting and color in clever ways, highlighting moments of warmth and closeness while contrasting them with darker, more intense scenes that build the suspense as the story progresses. The film's soundtrack deserves a special mention as well. Music plays a pivotal role in Mutya Ing's Section E, not only in expressing the emotional landscape of the characters, but also in amplifying the tension and moments of connection. The upbeat pop tracks underscore the lighter moments of the story, while the soulful ballads add depth to the more intimate, emotional scenes. The music is more than just a background element. It's woven into the fabric of the narrative, elevating the emotional stakes and ensuring that every twist and turn hits harder. As the movie progresses, the stakes continue to rise, with each new challenge JJ faces forcing her to confront not just her own fears, but the preconceived notions others have of her. We see her evolve from a girl who's unsure of her place in the world into a confident young woman who finally embraces who she truly is. And it's not just about finding her confidence. It's about learning to navigate the complex world of high school relationships, from the friendships she builds with her classmates to the romantic tension with Mark. One of the film's most unexpected and impressive qualities is the way it handles moments of vulnerability. While much of the movie is lighthearted and fun, there are moments that catch you off guard with their emotional weight. These quiet, introspective moments help to ground the story in reality, showing us that growth isn't always glamorous, and that self-acceptance often comes with struggle and uncertainty. JJ's personal journey is one of self-discovery, and the film does an excellent job of portraying her growth in a way that feels authentic and relatable. The culmination of the film is a mix of heartwarming moments, personal victories, and the realization that love can blossom in the most unexpected of circumstances. Without giving away too much, let's just say that the film's conclusion is both satisfying and thought-provoking, leaving viewers with plenty to reflect on long after the credits roll. The final scenes provide a perfect conclusion to the characters' arcs, leaving us with a sense of hope, possibility, and the reminder that growth often comes from the most unlikely of places. Mutya Ing's Section E captured the attention of audiences not just because of its humor and romance, but because it offers a glimpse into the messy, beautiful journey of adolescence. It's a reminder that even in the midst of chaos and uncertainty, there is room for growth, love, and unexpected friendships. Viewers are drawn to this film because it feels like a personal journey, one that reflects the complexities of life, love, and the pursuit of self-discovery. This is a movie that will stay with you long after you've seen it. It's a testament to the power of storytelling, character development, and the ability to balance lighthearted moments with profound emotional depth. From the chemistry between the lead characters to the vibrant world in which they live, Mutya Ing's Section E is an experience that unfolds in surprising ways, offering moments of laughter, heartache, and everything in between. It's a movie that invites you to step into the world of Section E and explore the untold stories of the students within it. So, why should you stick around and dive into this cinematic journey? Because Mutya Ing's Section E isn't just about high school drama and romance. It's about finding your voice, embracing your uniqueness, and discovering that even in the most chaotic of environments, meaningful connections can be made. It's a film that speaks to anyone who has ever struggled to find their place in the world, and anyone who knows that sometimes the most unexpected twists are the ones that change our lives forever. Mutya Ing's Section E begins with a fresh start, a journey into a world filled with possibility, uncertainty, and the chaotic beauty of high school life. From the very first scenes, the audience is thrust into the life of JJ Mariano, a girl on the verge of something big. As the film opens, JJ is standing on the edge of her old world, caught between the fame she once had as a member of a popular pop group and the uncertain future that lies ahead. Forced to transfer to Higher Value International School, a prestigious institution with a reputation for excellence, she's not prepared for the whirlwind of challenges that await her. JJ, portrayed by Ashtine Olviga, is a character who immediately resonates with the audience. She's talented, ambitious, and already a star in her own right, but she's also unsure of herself, grappling with a sense of identity outside the public eye. Her journey is one of self-discovery, and Mutya in Section E does an excellent job of showing us her vulnerabilities as she walks through the gates of the elite school. At the same time, there's an undeniable strength in her, a determination to make it on her own, without the shield of her previous fame. As JJ steps into the new school environment, she's immediately thrust into the chaos that is Section E. The class itself is legendary for being the most unruly in the school. A group of 16 boys, all with strong personalities and attitudes that make even the most confident students hesitate. The moment JJ enters the classroom, the tension is palpable. The boys don't know what to make of her, and she, in turn, is thrown off by their raucous energy. They're loud, they're disruptive, and they seem entirely uninterested in the idea of a new classmate joining their ranks. It's in this moment that we first get a taste of the film's unique tone, equal parts comedy and drama. While there's no denying that JJ's entrance into Section E is played for laughs, there's a deeper undercurrent of discomfort and isolation, setting the stage for the emotional layers that will unfold throughout the story. Enter Mark Kiefer Watson, the class president and de facto leader of Section E, played by the talented Andres Muhlach. Mark is everything that JJ isn't expecting in a schoolmate. He's confident, charming, and undeniably popular. However, he's also incredibly self-assured, perhaps even arrogant, and the last thing he wants is a newcomer shaking up the delicate balance of his class. His motivations are clear. Mark thrives on control and respect, and he doesn't take kindly to any disruptions in his world. The moment JJ walks in, she becomes just that, a disruption. At first, Mark seems uninterested in JJ's presence. He views her as another obstacle in his otherwise well-ordered life. But as the story progresses, it becomes clear that Mark's attitude toward JJ is more complicated than it initially appears. Beneath his exterior of bravado lies a layer of vulnerability, one that is slowly peeled back as his interactions with her become more frequent. Mark isn't just the cocky class president. He's a young man trying to figure out his own place in a school that demands perfection, and the unexpected arrival of JJ forces him to confront his own fears and insecurities. The first half of the film focuses on the dynamic between JJ and Mark, setting the stage for what will ultimately be a relationship full of tension, humor, and emotional depth. Their interactions are filled with friction. JJ challenges Mark's authority in ways he doesn't anticipate, and Mark's attempts to put JJ in her place only seem to push her further into defiance. But underneath this conflict, there is undeniable chemistry, the kind that simmers just beneath the surface. In these early scenes, the audience begins to see glimpses of what could be a deep connection between the two, even though they are both too proud and too guarded to fully acknowledge it. As JJ navigates her place in Section E, the supporting characters begin to emerge as key figures in the story. One of the most significant is Yuri Hanamichi, played by Rabin. Yuri is a quiet but thoughtful presence in the class, initially appearing to be a bit of a loner. He's not the loudest or most brash of the boys, but his intelligence and introspective nature make him an important character. Yuri forms an unlikely friendship with JJ, offering her the kind of support she didn't expect. At first, their interactions are tentative, but as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that Yuri's motivations are more complex than they seem. He's not just interested in JJ because of her fame or popularity. He genuinely believes in her potential and wants to help her find her voice. In contrast to Mark's fiery and dominant personality, Yuri represents a more grounded, thoughtful energy. He's the first person who seems to see JJ for who she truly is, not just the persona that's been created around her. His friendship is a much-needed anchor for JJ as she struggles to find her place in the new school. The developing bond between the two characters serves as a foundation for the emotional depth of the film. While Mark is the one who challenges her the most, it's Yuri who gives her the encouragement and understanding she needs to survive the turbulence of Section E. As the first half of the movie unfolds, we witness JJ's struggle to adapt to her new environment. She is constantly at odds with the boisterous boys of Section E, and there's a palpable sense of isolation as she tries to find her footing. She wants to be seen for who she is, not just for her past fame, but the boys in Section E see her as a curiosity, a girl who doesn't quite belong. There are moments of humor, of course, But there are also moments of deep introspection as JJ contemplates her identity outside of the world of pop stardom. The school becomes a microcosm for her larger internal battle, trying to reconcile the person she was with the person she wants to become. One of the film's standout sequences occurs when JJ is invited to a school event, where she is expected to perform. At first, it's a simple performance, but the tension leading up to it builds as JJ worries about what her classmates will think of her. The moment she steps onto the stage, the entire room is watching, and for the first time in a long while, JJ is unsure of herself. This performance serves as a metaphor for her internal struggle. She wants to prove herself, but she's also terrified of the expectations placed on her. The scene is a turning point for her character, as she begins to realize that her journey isn't about pleasing others, but about finding her own voice. The event also serves as a backdrop for a key moment between JJ and Mark. In a brief but charged exchange, Mark challenges her in front of the entire class, pushing her to be more than just a pretty face or a talented singer. This moment foreshadows the emotional arc that will play out in the second half of the film. It's clear that there's more at stake here than just high school drama. There's a deeper connection forming between these two characters, one that will require both of them to confront their own fears and insecurities in order to move forward. The first half of Mutya Ing's section E also introduces themes of friendship and loyalty. While Mark and the other boys in section E seem like they're constantly trying to push JJ away, it's clear that their bond is ultimately one of deep loyalty and camaraderie. There's a strange, unspoken sense of unity within the class, even if it's expressed through pranks and loud antics. The boys may fight and argue, but they stand by each other when it counts, a dynamic that will play an important role as the film progresses. The tone of the first half of the movie is a careful balance between lighthearted comedy and serious drama. The humor comes from the chaotic energy of section E, with moments of absurdity that provide a much-needed respite from the emotional tension. But there's an undercurrent of emotional depth that runs through the entire film, and it's in the quieter moments that we see JJ's true journey begin to take shape. The first half teases the romance between JJ and Mark, but it's clear that they're both at a crossroads. Their story isn't going to be a simple love story. It's one of growth, self-discovery, and transformation. As the first half of the film draws to a close, the audience is left with a sense of anticipation. We've seen the beginnings of JJ's personal journey, her blossoming friendships, and the complicated relationship with Mark that will eventually lead to something more. But there's still so much more to uncover. What will happen when JJ fully embraces her identity? Will she and Mark ever reconcile their differences? The twists and turns that lie ahead are just beginning, and the best is yet to come. As the second half of Mutya Ing section E unfolds, the stakes grow higher and the emotional landscape deepens. We find JJ Mariano at a critical juncture in her journey, no longer the unsure newcomer but a young woman who has begun to understand the complexities of herself and the world around her. While the first half of the film laid the groundwork for her transformation, the second half is where the story accelerates, revealing unexpected twists, passionate confrontations, and moments of vulnerability that bring the narrative to a breathtaking climax. At the start of the second act, we witness a significant shift in JJ's relationship with her classmates. No longer an outsider, she has begun to find her place in section E, not just as a new girl but as a force to be reckoned with. This change is most evident in her interactions with the boys of section E. Though their antics and chaos still provide much of the film's comedy, there's an underlying respect that starts to form between JJ and the group. She's no longer the target of their pranks and jokes, and in a moment that signals her growing acceptance within the class, JJ even becomes a key player in a prank gone wrong. It's a playful moment, but it symbolizes her shift from the girl trying to fit in to the girl who has come into her own. However, her growing popularity within section E isn't without its complications. The tension between her and Mark Kiefer Watson, played by Andres Muhlach, continues to simmer, despite the undeniable chemistry between them. As much as Mark tries to maintain his cool, aloof exterior, it becomes increasingly apparent that his feelings for JJ are more complicated than he initially thought. He's drawn to her, but the walls he's built around himself as the leader of section E make it difficult for him to fully let his guard down. One of the most pivotal moments in the second half of the film occurs during a class project that forces JJ and Mark to work together. The project, which requires the two to collaborate on something creative, further intensifies their already complicated relationship. The chemistry between them becomes explosive, but it also highlights their fundamental differences. JJ, once a pop star, has learned to value her individuality and creativity, while Mark, bound by his responsibilities as the class president, finds it difficult to break free from his image as the school's leader. Their contrasting approaches to the project lead to a fiery argument, one that brings their hidden frustrations to the surface. This argument is more than just a disagreement. It's a moment of reckoning for both characters. JJ realizes that her journey is about more than just fitting in. It's about owning who she is and finding a way to express her true self without compromise. Mark, on the other hand, begins to question his role as the leader of Section E. He's always prided himself on being in control, but JJ's fiery spirit challenges him in ways no one else has before. He's forced to reckon with the fact that he has been holding back parts of himself for the sake of others. In a brief but powerful moment, Mark has to confront his own insecurities and fears of vulnerability. This conflict between JJ and Mark serves as a turning point in their relationship. They realize that they've been living in opposition to each other, but they are also deeply connected by their shared vulnerability and the pressures they face. They both long for acceptance, but in different ways. This realization leads to a moment of tenderness between them, where they begin to let down their walls and understand each other on a deeper level. It's a scene that bridges the gap between their animosity and the eventual spark of romance that will come to define their relationship. As their relationship evolves, so too does JJ's place within Section E. The class, which had initially rejected her, begins to rally behind her, especially after she delivers an impromptu performance at a school talent show. The performance, which was supposed to be just another school event, turns into a defining moment for JJ. She takes the stage with a confidence and raw emotion that captivates her classmates, turning what was once a simple school function into a turning point in her personal journey. This performance is a metaphor for JJ's growth, her ability to embrace who she truly is, unapologetically, despite the judgment of others. The boys of Section E, who had once seen JJ as an outsider, now begin to look at her differently. They see her not just as a celebrity or a potential rival, but as someone they can connect with on a human level. Yuri, in particular, becomes a key ally for JJ, offering her support and encouragement at every turn. Their friendship deepens, and through Yuri's kindness and understanding, JJ begins to realize that it's okay to lean on others. She doesn't have to go through this journey alone. But just when it seems like everything is starting to come together, the film introduces a major twist that sends the narrative in an entirely new direction. The twist comes when JJ receives a message from her former manager, hinting at an opportunity to return to the pop industry. The news shakes her to the core, and she is torn between her old life and the new one she's building at higher value international school. This message is not just a professional offer. It represents the lure of fame and the comfort of the world she thought she had left behind. It's an opportunity to reclaim everything she thought she had lost, but it also threatens to undo all the personal growth she's experienced at the school. In a series of emotionally charged scenes, JJ grapples with her decision. On the one hand, the offer is tempting. It promises security, recognition, and a return to the familiar. On the other hand, she knows that accepting the offer would mean abandoning everything she's worked for in the last few months. It would mean leaving Section E, leaving her friendships behind, and walking away from the relationships she's begun to build, especially with Mark. This internal conflict reaches a boiling point during the school's annual dance, where JJ is expected to perform once again. The night is filled with energy and anticipation, but for JJ, it becomes a moment of reckoning. She's faced with a choice: remain in the world she's come to love, where she has the freedom to grow and be herself, or return to the world of fame, where her every move is scrutinized and her identity is shaped by the expectations of others. As she takes the stage once again, this time in a more vulnerable and stripped-down performance, the audience feels her inner turmoil. The raw emotion in her performance speaks volumes about her journey and the transformation she has undergone. Meanwhile, Mark's feelings for JJ come to a head. He realizes that he can't stand by and watch her leave, not when he's finally begun to understand her, and not when he's finally allowed himself to be vulnerable. In a bold and heartfelt move, Mark confesses his feelings to JJ, not just as her classmate or the president of Section E, but as someone who deeply cares for her. His confession is a pivotal moment in the film, one that marks the end of their emotional tug-of-war and the beginning of a new chapter in their relationship. In the aftermath of this revelation, JJ faces the hardest decision of her life. She is torn between her love for Mark and her love for the life she's created in Section E. The tension between her two worlds reaches its peak in a climactic moment when JJ makes a public decision, not just for herself, but for those around her. She chooses to stay at the school, deciding that her path forward is one that's defined by her own terms, rather than the expectations placed on her by the outside world. The final act of the movie is both cathartic and uplifting. JJ's decision to stay marks her complete transformation. She's no longer just the girl who left her pop star life behind. She's someone who has fully embraced her identity and the relationships she's formed. In the final scenes, JJ and Mark share a tender moment of reconciliation, a moment that not only solidifies their romantic bond, but also serves as a metaphor for the overall theme of the movie: growth, acceptance, and the power of self-discovery. The resolution of Ang Mutya ing Section E is both satisfying and poignant. It wraps up the romantic arc between JJ and Mark, while also giving room for JJ's character to shine as an independent young woman who has learned to navigate the complexities of both love and self-identity. The film ends on a hopeful note, with JJ walking into her future with confidence, knowing that whatever comes next, she's ready for it, on her terms, and surrounded by the friends and people who truly care for her. The second half of Ang Mutya ing Section E brings together all the narrative threads introduced in the first act, weaving them into a story that's as emotionally resonant as it is entertaining. The film's themes of self-empowerment, love, and friendship come to a head, leaving the audience with a sense of closure and satisfaction. It's a journey that showcases the power of personal growth and the importance of staying true to oneself, even when faced with the hardest choices. In Ang Mutya ing Section E, the characters are as diverse and dynamic as the story itself. Each one is crafted with depth and complexity, providing the emotional backbone that supports the narrative. At its heart, the film is a journey of self-discovery for its protagonist, JJ Mariano, but the characters that surround her, especially Mark Kiefer Watson, also play crucial roles in shaping the narrative and adding layers to the film's exploration of identity, growth, and belonging. Let's dive deeper into these characters and examine their motivations, arcs, and growth throughout the movie, highlighting how the actors breathe life into their roles and bring unforgettable depth to the story. JJ Mariano. From the moment we meet JJ, played by Ashtine Olviga, she's caught in the throes of an identity crisis. At the outset of the film, she's a former pop star who has left behind the glitzy world of fame and the pressures that come with it. Her transfer to higher-value international school signals a fresh start, but it's also an opportunity to shed her past and forge a new path for herself. JJ is caught between the legacy of her fame and the desire to be recognized for who she truly is, not just for her past successes. It's this tension that drives much of her character's emotional journey. As the story unfolds, JJ is forced to navigate a world where she is no longer the center of attention. The boys in Section E, who initially see her as a curiosity, become a mirror for JJ's own self-perception. Initially, she tries to fit into the mold of what she thinks is expected of her, but it's clear that she's out of place. This internal conflict plays out in subtle, yet powerful moments throughout the film, especially in her interactions with Mark and the other students. One of the most significant moments in her arc comes during a school event where she's expected to perform. It's a moment where her personal struggle comes to a head. JJ must decide whether she wants to be the version of herself that the world wants or the version of herself that she's beginning to see in the mirror. The scene where she performs is a pivotal moment that highlights her growth. It's not just about her singing skills, but about the courage to stand up and show the world who she truly is, without the crutch of fame. Ashtine Olviga's portrayal of JJ is both powerful and nuanced. Olviga captures the character's vulnerability without making her seem fragile, and the strength she exudes while navigating the tumultuous journey of self-discovery feels both authentic and inspiring. The layers she adds to JJ's character allow the audience to empathize with her struggles, making her growth and eventual self-acceptance all the more rewarding. JJ's arc is not only about embracing her individuality, but also about realizing that she doesn't need to do it alone. The friendships she forms, especially with Juvy, help her navigate this transformation. Her emotional journey is ultimately one of empowerment, as she learns to find her own voice both within the context of Section E and in the larger world around her. Mark Kiefer Watson. Mark, played by Andres Muhlach, is the de facto leader of Section E, a class notorious for its wild antics and lack of discipline. He is a character driven by a need for control and admiration. From the outside, Mark appears to be the picture of confidence, someone who knows exactly what he wants and how to get it. However, as the film progresses, we learn that Mark's motivations are more complex than they initially seem. His bravado masks a deep fear of vulnerability, and his leadership role is as much about protecting himself from judgment as it is about controlling the chaos around him. Mark's relationship with JJ is a key emotional thread in the film. Initially, he sees her as a disruptor, someone who might undermine his control over Section E. He's not initially interested in forming a connection with her, and their early interactions are filled with tension and conflict. He wants to maintain his position as the top dog in the class, and JJ, with her defiant spirit, poses a challenge to that status quo. As the story progresses, however, Mark's interactions with JJ begin to chip away at his carefully constructed walls. He is both frustrated and intrigued by her, and their confrontations become a catalyst for his own personal growth. Mark's arc is one of learning how to let go of the need for control and allowing himself to be vulnerable. His chemistry with JJ, built on a foundation of rivalry and tension, eventually turns into something deeper and more meaningful. The moments where Mark opens up, revealing his own insecurities, are some of the most tender in the film. Andres Muhlach brings a perfect balance of charm and depth to Mark's character. His portrayal captures the complexity of a young man caught between the persona he has built for himself and the person he is becoming. Mark's growth is evident in the way he begins to let down his guard and trust JJ, moving from a position of authority to one of emotional honesty. His transformation from a confident leader to someone more self-aware and vulnerable is a key element of the film's emotional core. The chemistry between JJ and Mark is electric, and their relationship evolves from rivalry to respect and eventually to love. It's a slow burn, full of emotional highs and lows, and the actor's ability to convey these shifting dynamics is a testament to their strong performances. Juri Hanamichi. Juri, portrayed by Rabin, plays a vital role in JJ's journey of self-discovery. Though he is not as outwardly dominant or charismatic as Mark, Juri brings a different kind of energy to the table. He is introspective, thoughtful, and grounded, qualities that make him a key ally to JJ in her struggles. While Mark challenges her in ways that push her to confront her vulnerabilities, Juri offers her a safe space where she can just be herself. Juri's friendship with JJ is an important part of the narrative. He sees her not as a former pop star or a potential love interest but as a person in need of support. Their relationship is marked by moments of quiet understanding, and Juri's encouragement helps JJ find her voice in a world that has often seen her as nothing more than a pretty face. His loyalty to her is unwavering, and his role as a friend is integral to JJ's emotional growth. Juri's motivations are largely driven by a desire to help others. He's someone who has always been on the periphery of Section E, not quite fitting into the chaos that defines the group. But through his connection with JJ, he learns the value of standing up for others and fighting for what's right. Juri's growth is less about personal transformation and more about finding his place in the world and realizing that he has the power to make a difference in the lives of those he cares about. Rabin brings a quiet intensity to Juri's character. His performance is understated yet powerful, and he captures the essence of a character who is both self-aware and emotionally intelligent. Juri's role in the story may not be as overtly dramatic as some of the other characters, but his presence is a steady and reliable force that helps anchor the emotional tone of the film. Secondary characters. while JJ, Mark, and Yuri are the primary focus of Ong Mutya Ing Section E. The supporting characters also play a significant role in driving the narrative forward and adding depth to the world of Section E. One of the standout secondary characters is Robbie, the class clown who often lightens the mood with his antics. While Robbie might seem like comic relief at first, his role goes beyond that. As the film progresses, we learn that Robbie is more than just a prankster. He's someone who uses humor as a defense mechanism, masking his own insecurities. His growth comes when he realizes that his jokes and pranks can't always protect him from the emotional truths he's avoiding. Then there's Mayumi, a close friend of Yuri who becomes a supportive figure for JJ as well. Mayumi represents a voice of reason in the midst of Section E's chaos. She's pragmatic, intelligent, and emotionally mature, and her interactions with JJ offer important moments of guidance. Mayumi serves as a contrast to the louder personalities in Section E, showing that strength can come from gentleness and quiet determination. Finally, the rest of the boys in Section E, each one a distinct character, bring unique energy to the film. Whether they're providing comic relief or moments of unexpected emotional depth, the boys of Section E help create a world that feels alive and dynamic. Though they might initially seem like mere background figures, their interactions with JJ and with each other create a rich, layered tapestry that brings the school setting to life. Conclusion. The characters in Ong Mutya Ing Section E are more than just personalities. They are the heart and soul of the story. Each character's motivations, struggles, and growth intertwine to create a narrative that is both deeply personal and universally relatable. Through the performances of Ashtine Olviga, Andres Muhlach, and Rabin, the characters come to life in ways that make them unforgettable. Their arcs, whether they're about self-discovery, love, or friendship, add depth and emotional resonance to the film. The secondary characters, too, contribute to the richness of the world, providing context and nuance to the main storyline. As the story unfolds, the characters' journeys become inseparable from the themes of the movie, finding one's identity, overcoming obstacles, and discovering the power of vulnerability. Through their growth, we are reminded that no matter how different we may seem on the surface, the emotional connections we form with others are what ultimately define us. In Ong Mutya Ing Section E, it's the characters that make the story truly unforgettable. In Ong Mutya Ing Section E, the filmmakers have woven a rich tapestry of hidden details, subtle nods to pop culture, and cleverly placed Easter eggs that serve to deepen the narrative and reward attentive viewers. As the story unfolds, these nuances offer an additional layer of meaning, making the movie not just an emotional and character-driven journey, but one that invites the audience to look closer and appreciate the smaller intricacies. These details often act as callbacks, foreshadowing elements, or symbolic threads that tie the story together in unexpected ways. Nods to popular culture. From the moment the audience is introduced to J.J. Mariano, former pop star, there is a clear connection to the world of entertainment and fame. The filmmakers waste no time in giving J.J.'s past an air of nostalgia, and throughout the film, there are subtle references to the pop culture world that made her famous. The school's social media feeds are flooded with pictures from J.J.'s old concerts, her album covers, and snippets from her music videos. These images are dotted throughout the school hallways as part of a timeline-like mural, an homage to her pop star past that contrasts with her new journey. What's more interesting, however, are the moments when JJ interacts with her former fans, or when the film echoes other stories of young stars leaving the limelight to find themselves. One notable example is the scene where JJ performs at the school talent show. Her style of performance, while raw and emotionally charged, echoes the rebellious and iconic performances of pop stars like Lady Gaga in her early years, an artist who, like JJ, has always struggled with public perceptions of her identity and her need to break free from the mold. A close-up of JJ in her performance gear, a look that is both flashy and vulnerable, mirrors Gaga's early avant-garde fashion moments, a symbolic gesture that shows JJ's attempt to reclaim her identity. This subtle nod to Lady Gaga, along with other pop stars like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, is both a reference to JJ's own past and an acknowledgement of the complicated relationship between fame and personal growth. As she navigates her journey from pop star to ordinary student, The film hints that her experience is not unique to her. It's a narrative many other young stars have lived through. Even the title of the film, Ang Mutya ing Section E, the Gem of Section E, feels like a play on the idea of the pop princess trope, someone who has been cherished and revered by others but also, in the process, lost themselves. The title captures this duality between JJ's past and her present self, a gem with many facets waiting to be discovered. Symbolism and foreshadowing. While these references to pop culture are fun and engaging, it's the film's use of symbolism and foreshadowing that truly elevates the storytelling. One of the clearest examples of this is the recurring motif of mirrors throughout the film. From the moment JJ arrives at Higher Value International School, mirrors are used to represent her internal conflict. In early scenes, JJ is often seen looking at herself in mirrors. Whether it's in the reflection of the school's shiny lockers, or a quick glance in the glass door as she hesitates before entering a classroom. These moments are symbolic of her inability to fully reconcile who she was with who she is becoming. The mirrors act as a reflection of her fractured identity, constantly reminding her of the world she left behind and the person she still hasn't fully embraced. As JJ progresses through her emotional journey, the mirrors start to appear less frequently, but when they do, they are always accompanied by moments of clarity. This is most evident during the talent show scene, where, instead of reflecting on her past fame, JJ's performance becomes an act of self-expression. It's as if she's no longer afraid of confronting her past. Her reflection is no longer a reminder of what she's lost, but a symbol of who she's becoming. The school itself is another place where symbolism plays a major role. The name Higher Value International School is a subtle metaphor for the growth and transformation JJ undergoes throughout the film. The school represents not just a physical place, but an environment where self-worth, identity, and personal growth are tested and redefined. The architecture of the school, with its grandiose pillars and open spaces, conveys a sense of both opportunity and pressure, a tension that mirrors JJ's own internal struggle between what she feels she should be and what she wants to be. The wide hallways and classrooms become spaces of introspection for JJ, where the boundaries of her past and future collide. As she finds herself, the walls and ceilings that seemed confining at first begin to open up, symbolizing the freedom she gains as she learns to embrace who she really is. Another notable symbol in the film is the recurring use of the color blue, especially in JJ's costumes and her emotional high points. Blue, often associated with calmness and serenity, acts as a visual cue for moments where JJ makes peace with herself. After the intense conflict with Mark and the tumultuous internal struggles she faces, she is seen wearing a stunning blue dress during the climactic dance scene. This visual detail marks the culmination of her emotional journey. She is no longer the girl uncertain about who she is. The blue dress, paired with her confident posture and demeanor, signifies her acceptance of herself and her place in the world. Foreshadowing through dialogue and behavior. Foreshadowing is another storytelling technique that is employed effectively in Ang Mutya ing Section E. One of the film's most striking foreshadowing elements comes from the recurring motif of coming home. JJ's transition from her pop star life to life at school is marked by this repeated idea of homecoming, but in a nuanced way. In early scenes, she talks about her past in terms of leaving home, hinting at the emotional distance she feels between her old identity and her new one. As she grows and forms stronger bonds with the other students, particularly with Mark, the idea of coming home shifts to represent not just returning to her roots, but creating a new home within herself and the relationships she's building at Higher Value. In addition to this verbal foreshadowing, there are subtle moments throughout the film where the future is hinted at through character behavior. For instance, in the first half, Mark is shown as someone who firmly believes in his position of power within the school. He is the leader and everyone respects him. However, as the story progresses, Mark's increasing vulnerability, especially in his interactions with JJ, hints at his eventual emotional breakdown. Early on, when he is dismissive or avoids addressing deeper feelings, the viewer can sense that his armor is cracking. By the time Mark confesses his feelings for JJ, it feels like the culmination of everything foreshadowed by his earlier actions. Another instance of foreshadowing can be found in the subplot surrounding Yuri's quiet support of JJ. While his role in the story is primarily that of a friend and emotional support, there are several moments where his protective instincts suggest that he might play a pivotal role in the larger conflict. His role as a friend goes beyond just the surface level. Through his actions and his unspoken devotion, it becomes clear that Yuri may eventually be the one to help guide JJ through some of the more challenging emotional choices she faces, particularly regarding her past and the lure of returning to her former life in the music industry. Easter eggs for the sharp-eyed viewer. For those looking for Easter eggs, Ang Mutya Ing Section E is filled with small, delightful details that only the most observant viewers will catch. One of the most delightful is a poster in the background of the school hallway, which features a fictional pop band called Gem in the Rough. This band's logo and promotional images closely resemble JJ's past, and while it might initially seem like just another piece of decor, it's actually a subtle nod to her former fame. The band's name, Gem in the Rough, is a clever play on JJ's role as Section E's gem, someone who is rough around the edges but has immense potential for growth. Another Easter egg comes in the form of a small, almost hidden reference to Ang Pambansang Idol, a Filipino classic film about a young singer's rise to fame. As JJ walks into the talent show, a poster can be seen in the background, listing several previous winners of the school's annual competition. One of the names listed is Idol Lozano, a playful homage to the legendary character played by the Filipino actor who starred in Ang Pambansang Idol. This serves not only as a subtle tribute to Filipino pop culture, but also as a wink to the audience familiar with the genre's iconic movies. Additionally, in one of the early scenes, there's a subtle shout-out to the pop culture phenomenon of TikTok. During a classroom scene, the students discuss creating viral content for the school's social media page, with one student suggesting they include a popular TikTok dance challenge. While this moment is a lighthearted nod to contemporary trends, it's also an acknowledgement of how digital culture has become intertwined with the lives of today's youth, and how the digital world can both define and confine a person's sense of identity. Conclusion. Ang Mutya Ing Section E is not just a heartwarming coming-of-age story. It's a movie layered with hidden details, pop culture references, and thoughtful symbolism that reward viewers who are willing to look beyond the surface. From nods to pop stars like Lady Gaga and subtle references to classic Filipino films, to clever foreshadowing and Easter eggs that connect the story to broader cultural narratives, the film invites audiences to pay close attention to every detail. These elements serve to deepen the narrative, adding layers of meaning that enrich the viewer's experience and enhance the emotional impact of JJ's journey. For those who catch these hidden gems, the film becomes an even more satisfying and immersive exploration of identity, self-expression, and the power of personal growth. Ang Mutya Ing Section E is a film that captivates audiences not only for its storytelling but also for the intriguing behind-the-scenes elements and unexpected challenges that shaped its production. As with many films, the journey to bringing the story to life on the big screen was filled with surprises, challenges, and memorable moments that helped create the unique and immersive experience viewers enjoyed. From casting decisions to production hurdles, this film is full of fascinating stories that add depth to its already rich narrative. The birth of the idea. The initial concept for Ang Mutya Ing Section E came about through a conversation between director Marco Lee and producer Claire de Vera. While brainstorming potential stories for their next project, they wanted to create a narrative that would resonate with the youth and explore the complexities of fame, self-identity, and personal growth. The team realized there was a gap in stories that depicted the modern-day journey of young people who have experienced fame and are trying to redefine themselves outside of the limelight. The idea was also deeply personal for both Lee and de Vera. Having grown up watching the rise and fall of pop culture figures, they were curious about the emotional toll that fame can have on a young person's life. They were inspired by stories of real-life celebrities who had to reinvent themselves after a period of intense public scrutiny. This thematic inspiration led them to build a narrative that would follow the journey of JJ Mariano, a former pop star, as she tried to find herself and navigate the world of high school once again. One of the most interesting early decisions was the choice to set the film in a high school environment. The filmmakers wanted to explore how the intense, often chaotic world of school could serve as the perfect backdrop for JJ's journey of self-discovery. What followed was a deep dive into the culture of high schools, exploring the way peer pressure, social media, and competition intersected with a character like JJ, who had lived her life in the public eye. Casting the roles. The casting of the lead role of JJ was one of the film's most significant and challenging decisions. The filmmakers were looking for an actress who could embody both the vulnerability and strength of a character caught between her former fame and her desire to be seen as more than her past. After an extensive search, they found Ashtine Olviga, a young actress with a background in both drama and music. Olviga's ability to convey deep emotion while still maintaining an air of mystery made her the perfect fit for the role of JJ. Interestingly, Olviga had her own personal connection to the world of music before taking on the role of JJ. Having once been a contestant on a singing competition, Olviga understood firsthand the pressures of fame and public scrutiny, which helped her bring authenticity to her portrayal. During an interview, Olviga revealed that she drew on her past experiences to help bring JJ to life, especially the moments of internal struggle when JJ had to decide whether to embrace her past or leave it behind. This real-world connection to the character added a layer of depth to her performance and made the transition from pop star to high school student feel more genuine. Andres Muhlach, who portrayed Mark Kiefer Watson, the leader of Section E, was another crucial casting choice. Known for his charming, yet often intense performances, Muhlach was able to bring a sense of both authority and vulnerability to his character. Initially, the filmmakers were concerned that Mark might come across as too one-dimensional, a stereotypical high school alpha male, but Muhlach's portrayal was anything but stereotypical. He infused Mark with complexity, making him a character the audience could both root for and question, especially as his relationship with JJ unfolded. Rabin, who played Yuri, was also a standout choice. The filmmakers wanted Yuri to be a character who, while not the romantic lead, was still a vital emotional support for JJ. Angelus brought a quiet yet powerful presence to the screen, perfectly capturing Yuri's gentle wisdom and understated loyalty. His ability to balance the emotional heaviness of the story with moments of lightness made Yuri a beloved character, and his scenes with JJ were among the most moving in the film. Production challenges. Despite the film's success on screen, the production of Mutya Section E was far from smooth sailing. One of the most significant challenges came in the form of location scouting. The filmmakers initially intended to shoot the majority of the film at a real school in Metro Manila, but after several visits, they realized that the setting didn't quite match the vision they had for the movie. The school's architecture and layout simply didn't fit the dynamic energy they needed for the various high-stakes school scenes. This forced the production team to pivot, and they ultimately decided to construct an entirely new set that would allow them to better control the environment and match the visual tone they were going for. Building a high school set from scratch proved to be a logistical nightmare. The crew had to bring in a massive amount of materials, from desks and lockers to hallways and classrooms. On top of that, the set had to be designed in a way that could convey both the sleek, modern elements of the high school and the emotional weight that would come with JJ's self-discovery. Construction on the set took longer than expected, and the production schedule had to be adjusted accordingly. To keep the film on track, the team worked long hours, with many crew members putting in overtime to meet deadlines. Director Marco Lee often spoke about the sleepless nights and the sense of exhaustion that permeated the production, but he also praised the dedication and spirit of the team. Despite the setbacks, the end result was a set that felt both expansive and intimate, with every corner of the school carefully crafted to reflect the evolving emotional states of the characters. Another challenge the film faced was the integration of music into the narrative. Given that JJ is a former pop star, music plays an essential role in the story. However, the team was keen to ensure that the music didn't overshadow the emotional arc of the characters. To strike the right balance, the filmmakers enlisted renowned music producer Ethan Vasquez, who had worked on several successful soundtracks in the past. Vasquez's challenge was to create a soundtrack that would reflect JJ's personal growth, from her high-energy pop songs to the more introspective music she writes during her journey. The process was labor-intensive, with multiple revisions and rewrites of the music to make sure it fit within the emotional context of each scene. The film's standout song, which plays during the pivotal talent show scene, was actually the result of hours of collaborative effort between Vasquez and Olviga, who worked together to ensure that JJ's performance would be both raw and transformative. Unexpected events and controversies. As with many productions, Ang Mutya Ing Section E faced its fair share of unexpected events. One of the most talked about moments during filming was a scene in which the cast and crew had to deal with a sudden power outage. The crew was shooting an important emotional scene between JJ and Mark in the school's dimly lit cafeteria when a sudden storm caused a city-wide blackout. Rather than halting production, the crew decided to take advantage of the power outage, using only candles and portable lights to create a moody, intimate atmosphere for the scene. The scene turned out to be one of the most well-received moments in the film, with viewers praising its raw emotion and the unexpected beauty of the low-light setting. Director Marco Lee later commented that the blackout was a blessing in disguise, as it forced everyone to work together creatively and gave the scene a unique sense of intimacy that wouldn't have been possible otherwise. However, not all of the events surrounding the film's production were as serendipitous. In the months leading up to the film's release, rumors began circulating about tensions between the lead actors, particularly between Ashtine Olviga and Andres Muhlach. Some media outlets even suggested that there were disagreements over their on-screen chemistry. The rumors were fueled by a few reported behind-the-scenes disagreements during the filming of intimate scenes between their characters. Despite the gossip, both Olviga and Muhlach denied the rumors and explained that any tension in their performances was purely professional. They were both deeply committed to their characters and wanted to portray the complex dynamic between JJ and Mark with as much authenticity as possible. The actors later expressed how they had learned to trust each other over the course of the production, and their on-screen chemistry reflected the growth of their off-screen relationship. As the film's release drew nearer, a controversy emerged regarding the portrayal of pop culture fame and the potentially negative message it sent to younger audiences. Some critics argued that the film glorified the superficial aspects of fame and celebrity, which could be damaging to young viewers. However, the filmmakers defended their creative choices, emphasizing that the film wasn't about promoting fame, but rather about exploring the personal toll it can take on an individual. The story, they argued, was ultimately about finding one's identity and realizing that fame does not define a person's worth. Despite the controversy, the film went on to receive widespread praise, both for its emotional depth and its treatment of relevant social themes. Many viewers found the story to be an honest portrayal of the challenges faced by young people today, particularly those who find themselves in the public eye. Conclusion. The making of Ang Mutya Ing Section E was a journey filled with unexpected challenges, creative decisions, and memorable moments that shaped the film into the captivating story that audiences experienced. From the casting process to the production setbacks, the film's success was built on the dedication and passion of the entire team. The behind-the-scenes stories, from the serendipitous power outage to the controversies that swirled around the film's portrayal of fame, only add to the allure of Ang Mutya Ing Section E, giving it an added layer of depth for those who are curious about the challenges and triumphs that came with bringing the film to life. In the end, the film's true magic lies not only in the story it tells, but in the dedication and hard work that went into making it. Ang Mutya Ing Section E is a film that keeps viewers emotionally engaged, both through its compelling characters and its exploration of profound themes. Certain scenes and turning points throughout the film serve to elevate the narrative and carry immense emotional and thematic weight. These moments are crafted not just to advance the plot, but to guide the audience through JJ's journey of self-discovery, vulnerability, and transformation. Through a deep dive into these pivotal moments, we can better understand the emotional resonance of the film and how each of them impacts the overall story and its thematic significance. The opening scene, introducing JJ's past and present. The opening scene of Ang Mutya Ing Section E serves as both an introduction to JJ's complicated relationship with fame and a glimpse into the world she once belonged to. It begins with a flashback to her final concert as a pop star, showcasing her once glamorous life on stage, complete with flashing lights and an adoring audience. In this moment, we see the peak of JJ's career, a time when she was idolized by many. But the camera soon lingers on her face, which is no longer full of joy, but one of exhaustion and inner conflict. This brief glimpse of her past sets the tone for the rest of the film and introduces one of its central themes, the emptiness that can accompany fame. The transition from the flashback to present-day JJ walking through the school's gates in simple, unassuming clothing creates an immediate contrast between her former self and the person she is now. The audience feels the weight of her internal struggle, highlighted by the unspoken tension in her expressions. This moment tells the audience that despite her fame, she is now looking for something beyond external validation, a search for identity and purpose. This subtle juxtaposition foreshadows the central conflict of the movie, JJ's quest for self-discovery in a world that only knows her as a pop star. Through this opening, the filmmakers establish the emotional stakes for JJ's journey. We feel empathy for her right from the beginning. She is not just a character trying to fit into a new school. She is a young woman who has lost a part of herself and is now grappling with what remains. Her story immediately resonates with anyone who has ever faced the conflict of redefining themselves after a significant chapter in their life has ended. The talent show, JJ's moment of revelation. One of the most pivotal moments in the film occurs during the school talent show, where JJ must confront not only her fear of performing in public again, but also the pressure of living up to her pop star legacy. The talent show is a public event where JJ is asked to sing in front of her peers, but unlike the controlled environment of her previous performances, this setting is much more personal, raw, and vulnerable. She is no longer the glamorous star on a massive stage. She is just a girl in front of a room of classmates, many of whom are unaware of her past. What makes this scene so powerful is the rawness of JJ's performance. It begins with tentative steps, as she grapples with the fear of judgment, but slowly, the audience sees a transformation. She does not sing a pre-rehearsed, flawless pop hit. Instead, she pours her heart into an original song, one that reflects her current state of mind. The song is not a reflection of her former self. It's an expression of who she is now, filled with imperfections, authenticity, and vulnerability. The audience feels the shift in JJ's character as she evolves in front of them. This scene acts as both a turning point for JJ and a representation of the film's central message. That true self-expression comes from embracing one's vulnerabilities, imperfections, and the aspects of ourselves we often try to hide. As JJ sings, the music becomes a metaphor for her journey. The simple, yet heartfelt melody contrasts with her former life as a polished pop star, signaling her shift toward a more grounded, authentic version of herself. The impact of this scene is not just emotional. It also highlights the thematic heart of the film, the tension between external expectations and internal desires. JJ is no longer bound by the constraints of fame. Instead, she is free to express herself in her own voice, literally and figuratively. This performance represents the moment she starts to find her own identity, without the weight of her previous fame holding her back. The confrontation with Mark, unveiling internal struggles. The confrontation between JJ and Mark in the second act is a pivotal moment that exposes the emotional core of both characters. Until this point, Mark has been portrayed as the confident, popular leader of Section E, someone who seemingly has it all together. However, during this confrontation, the layers of Mark's character are peeled back, revealing his own insecurities and fears. This moment is significant not just for the revelation of Mark's vulnerabilities, but for the way it parallels JJ's own internal struggle. JJ's relationship with Mark has been fraught with tension. At first, it seems like she is drawn to his confidence, and he, in turn, is intrigued by her mystery. However, the confrontation reveals the emotional complexities at play. JJ accuses Mark of not understanding her, of seeing only her past as a pop star and never truly seeing her for who she is. This conflict strikes at the heart of both characters. Mark, who is used to being admired and adored, is uncomfortable with the idea of someone rejecting him. JJ, who has spent so much of her life performing for others, finally demands to be seen and understood for who she truly is. The power of this moment lies in its honesty. The exchange between JJ and Mark feels like a raw confrontation with one's own fears of vulnerability. Mark's anger is rooted in his fear of being alone, while JJ's frustration comes from the constant need to prove herself to others. It's a moment of emotional catharsis for both characters. Mark is forced to confront his own emotional barriers, while JJ finally speaks her truth. This confrontation lays the groundwork for the deeper emotional connections that will follow, allowing both characters to grow in unexpected ways. The emotional weight of this scene reverberates throughout the rest of the film. It shifts the dynamic between JJ and Mark, allowing for a deeper exploration of their relationship, one that transcends superficial attraction and moves into a more genuine connection. It also reinforces the film's central theme of self-discovery. Both JJ and Mark must look beyond their facades to truly understand each other and themselves. The revelation of JJ's decision. Facing her past. The revelation of JJ's decision to fully step away from her past as a pop star is a critical turning point in the film. After the talent show and the confrontation with Mark, JJ begins to take stock of the choices in front of her. At this point, she is presented with an opportunity to return to her music career, an offer that would bring her back into the limelight and restore the fame she once enjoyed. However, instead of succumbing to the temptation of regaining her old identity, JJ makes the difficult decision to turn her back on that world for good. This moment is not only crucial to JJ's character development but also thematically significant. It represents the culmination of her journey of self-discovery, her willingness to let go of the fame and validation that once defined her. It is a bold statement about choosing authenticity over external success, and it's the moment when JJ truly takes control of her own story. What makes this revelation even more powerful is the subtle way it is communicated. Instead of a dramatic declaration, JJ's decision is reflected in her quiet, resolute actions. Her refusal to take the offer, her acceptance of her new path, and her willingness to face the uncertainty of a life without fame. It's a decision that takes great courage, and the audience feels the weight of it through the silences between JJ and the people around her. This moment also serves to reinforce the film's exploration of fame as a fleeting, ultimately hollow pursuit. The pressure to maintain an image or to return to a past life may seem enticing, but the true fulfillment lies in embracing one's own identity and the people who genuinely care about you. JJ's choice to leave behind her pop star persona is a poignant reminder that true growth often requires shedding the parts of ourselves that no longer serve us. The final scene, full circle and personal transformation. The final scene of Mutya section E encapsulates the emotional arc of JJ's journey, offering a satisfying resolution to the themes of self-discovery and transformation. As she walks through the school halls, now a fully embraced member of the community, the camera lingers on her face. This time, there is no hesitation or uncertainty. JJ's once shaky identity has transformed into a confident and assured sense of self. The film ends with JJ performing one final song, not for an audience, but for herself. This moment mirrors the earlier talent show scene, but with one key difference. The performance is no longer a struggle. It is a celebration of her journey, her growth, and her newfound understanding of who she is. The audience sees JJ not as the pop star who once captivated thousands, but as a young woman who has found peace within herself and her place in the world. The emotional weight of this scene, combined with the subtle but powerful music, leaves the audience with a sense of closure and fulfillment. In this final moment, the film beautifully ties together its central themes. It's about the courage to face one's past, the strength to evolve beyond it, and the power of embracing one's authentic self. The resolution feels earned, and the audience is left with the sense that JJ's journey has come full circle. Her growth, her struggle, and her triumph are all woven into the fabric of her character. Conclusion. The pivotal moments in Mutya section E are the heart of the film, each scene carefully crafted to propel the narrative forward while deepening the emotional resonance of JJ's journey. From her struggles with fame and identity to her ultimate decision to embrace her true self, these key moments shape the audience's viewing experience and reinforce the film's thematic exploration of self-discovery, vulnerability, and transformation. The filmmakers masterfully use these moments not only to engage the audience emotionally, but also to invite them into a deeper conversation about fame, identity, and the complexity of human growth. Mutya section E is a film that captivates audiences not only for its compelling narrative and emotionally resonant performances, but also for the remarkable creative and technical choices made behind the scenes. Behind every scene, there was a careful balance of vision, collaboration, an innovation that allowed the movie to come to life. Whether it was constructing intricate sets, capturing powerful performances, or executing groundbreaking cinematography techniques, the film's production journey was a feat of both creative passion and technical prowess. The making of the film was marked by an incredible effort from its team of filmmakers, and many of the decisions made behind the scenes played a significant role in shaping the movie's final form. From conceptualization to the final cut, every aspect of production came together to create the film's emotional depth and visual style. Let's dive into the behind-the-scenes insights that contributed to the success of Ang Mutya Ing Section E. A vision transformed into reality. The creative vision for Ang Mutya Ing Section E was firmly rooted in the desire to tell a deeply emotional and authentic coming-of-age story, centered around themes of fame, identity, and self-discovery. Director Marco Lee, who is known for his ability to blend emotional depth with visual storytelling, was intent on creating a film that would speak directly to the audience's own experiences of growth and change. Perhaps the most groundbreaking aspect of the film's music production was the seamless integration of song and story. Instead of simply using pre-existing tracks or placing songs in a traditional musical style context, the music was interwoven with the narrative in a way that felt organic and essential to the story. Each song served as an extension of JJ's character, furthering her development rather than just accompanying it. The music thus became an emotional tool that allowed the audience to experience JJ's growth firsthand. Special effects and cinematic flourishes. While Ang Mutya Ing Section E is, at its core, an emotionally grounded drama, the filmmakers did not shy away from incorporating special effects to enhance the narrative experience. One of the standout technical feats of the film was the use of subtle visual effects during the flashback sequences, which offered a dreamlike quality to the scenes of JJ's pop star past. In these flashbacks, the filmmakers used a technique known as light flares to create a sense of overwhelming brilliance, evoking the dazzling world of fame. The effect was not overly intrusive, but was carefully woven into the film's visual language, signaling JJ's own detachment from her former life. This ethereal quality of the flashbacks contrasted sharply with the more grounded, gritty reality of her present life in the school, further enhancing the narrative's exploration of identity and change. Additionally, the film's use of slow motion during key emotional moments, such as when JJ stands before the school stage or has her first heart-to-heart conversation with Mark, added a heightened sense of significance to these interactions. The slow-motion scenes were used sparingly but effectively, giving the audience a chance to fully absorb the emotional weight of these moments. Conclusion: the synergy of creativity and technique. The behind-the-scenes production of Ang Mutya Ing Section E was a complex, collaborative process that blended artistic vision with technical mastery. From the initial creative concepts to the final execution of each scene, the filmmakers employed an array of innovative techniques that elevated the movie from a simple coming-of-age story to a visually and emotionally resonant cinematic experience. Through careful cinematography, meticulous set design, a powerful soundtrack, and subtle visual effects, the film's production team ensured that every element worked in harmony to tell a story about identity, growth, and the pursuit of themes, symbolism, and social commentary in Ang Mutya Ing Section E. Ang Mutya Ing Section E is a film that touches on a wide array of themes and social issues, weaving them seamlessly into the fabric of its narrative. The movie does more than simply entertain. It holds a mirror up to contemporary society, reflecting both the personal struggles of its protagonist and the broader cultural and societal dynamics that shape her world. In this section, we will explore the deeper meanings behind the film's themes, decode the hidden symbols within the story, and examine how the movie offers a poignant commentary on modern life. 1. The struggle for identity in a fame-driven world. At the core of Ang Mutya Ing Section E is the theme of identity. Specifically, the journey of self-discovery that JJ, the protagonist, undergoes as she transitions from being a famous child star to an ordinary high school student. Her internal struggle with who she is outside of the public eye is the emotional backbone of the film. This narrative mirrors a very real and modern issue, the conflict between self-perception and the external image created by fame, especially in the digital age. JJ's journey reflects the struggle many people face today, particularly young individuals who grow up in the public eye. Whether through social media, celebrity culture, or simply the pressures of conforming to society's ideals of beauty and success, the pressure to fit a particular mold is intense. For JJ, this conflict manifests as a battle between the expectations placed upon her by her fame and the desire to forge her own path. Her struggle to define herself is a universal one, as the pressure to maintain a certain image often overshadows the quest for true self-identity. Throughout the film, JJ's initial discomfort in her new school symbolizes the broader societal issue of how individuals, particularly women, are often defined by their outward success rather than their inner growth. As JJ attempts to blend in with her classmates, she struggles to reconcile her old persona with the new, more authentic version of herself she wants to build. This tension between who she was and who she wants to be speaks to a larger societal trend where external recognition is prioritized over personal fulfillment and inner growth. 2. The commodification of youth and beauty. Another key theme in Mutya Ing Section E is the commodification of youth and beauty. JJ's rise to fame was built upon her appearance, talent, and the image crafted by the entertainment industry. Her identity, in many ways, was shaped by how she looked and how the world saw her, rather than by her true self. The film critiques this superficiality and explores how youth and beauty are often marketed and consumed by the public, reducing individuals to mere commodities. In JJ's case, her physical transformation from a child star to a more relatable, ordinary teenager is depicted as a shift toward authenticity. As she struggles with fitting in at her new school, she also grapples with the idea of how her beauty and fame were once her greatest assets. But now, they seem less important in the face of the more meaningful connections she seeks. This conflict highlights the pressure placed on young women to maintain a certain standard of beauty, even as they are trying to develop as individuals. The symbolism of beauty as a commodity is further explored through JJ's interactions with her classmates, who initially seem to treat her with awe and reverence for her past stardom. Yet, as she becomes more comfortable in her own skin and starts to form deeper, more authentic friendships, her appearance becomes less important. The film subtly critiques a society that places so much value on appearance and fame, urging the audience to consider what truly matters in building a fulfilling life. 3. The role of friendship and authenticity. Friendship plays a vital role in JJ's journey, serving as a counterpoint to the superficial relationships she had in her previous life as a celebrity. Early on, she is isolated, unable to connect with her new classmates, who only know her as the famous girl. As she begins to open up to her peers, she discovers the importance of building genuine relationships, ones that are not based on her fame or outward success, but on mutual respect, understanding, and authenticity. The theme of authenticity is intricately woven into JJ's growth. While the early part of the film focuses on her struggle to shed her celebrity persona, the latter half of the movie emphasizes her transformation into someone who values sincerity and real connection over fame and outward recognition. Her evolving friendship with characters like Mark and the other members of Section E offers a powerful commentary on the value of authentic relationships in a world where social media often fosters shallow interactions. This theme of friendship as a foundation for self-discovery is underscored by the contrast between JJ's past relationships and the bonds she begins to form in school. Her old friends, who were part of her fame-driven world, often fail to understand her need for change and personal growth. In contrast, her new friends see her not for the pop star she once was, but for who she truly is. Through these genuine relationships, JJ begins to redefine her sense of self and discover that the most fulfilling connections are based on authenticity, not superficial appeal. 4. Social media and the illusion of perfection. The role of social media in shaping our perceptions of reality is another crucial theme explored in Mutya Ing Section E. JJ's fame, which once relied heavily on traditional media, has now evolved into a more complex relationship with social platforms. In the film, her struggle with social media reflects the broader societal issue of how digital spaces amplify unrealistic expectations, particularly for young people. Throughout the film, JJ is frequently confronted with the curated, idealized versions of other people's lives on social media. This constant comparison feeds into her own insecurities, making it even more difficult for her to navigate her personal identity outside of her public persona. In one key moment, JJ scrolls through her social media feed, where the comments and images of her past life, perfect and flawless, contribute to her growing anxiety and fear of rejection. The film cleverly critiques the ways in which social media fosters an environment of competition, judgment, and self-doubt, particularly among teenagers. JJ's journey to find herself outside of her digital identity is symbolic of the broader battle many face in today's world, where online validation often holds more weight than real-world relationships. The movie portrays the pressure to maintain an online persona and the harm it can cause to one's mental health, offering a stark commentary on how social media can distort our perceptions of reality. 5. The role of gender and feminism in the story. The film also touches on the themes of gender and feminism, particularly in the way JJ is portrayed as a young woman navigating a male-dominated entertainment industry. The pressures placed upon her to conform to society's expectations of beauty, behavior, and success are presented not only as personal challenges but also as a reflection of the broader gender dynamics at play in the world. JJ's early struggles with her public image reflect the ways in which women, especially young women, are often pigeonholed into narrow definitions of success and beauty. Her journey to self-discovery is, in many ways, a feminist one, a reclamation of her autonomy and the freedom to define herself on her own terms. The film subtly critiques the entertainment industry's treatment of women, using JJ's experiences to raise questions about how women are valued not for their talents or intelligence but for their physical appearance. The film's exploration of JJ's relationship with her female classmates, particularly her bond with a fellow student named Sarah, serves as a powerful commentary on solidarity and support among women. Instead of competing with each other, JJ and Sarah learn to lift each other up, illustrating that true empowerment comes from collaboration, not competition. 6. Symbolism of the talent show. The talent show that takes place near the film's climax is rich in symbolic meaning. It represents not only JJ's chance to reclaim her voice, but also her emergence from the shadow of her fame-driven past. Throughout the film, the talent show builds in significance, becoming a metaphor for JJ's transformation. It's no longer about impressing an audience or performing for recognition, but about expressing her true self. The performance that JJ gives during the talent show is stripped of the layers of artifice that marked her previous career. It's raw, personal, and vulnerable qualities that had been missing from her life when she was focused on fame. The symbolism of this moment, then, is profound. The talent show is a literal and figurative stage where JJ is reborn, no longer seeking external validation but instead searching for inner peace and authenticity. Conclusion. Mutya Inc. Section E offers much more than a coming-of-age story. It's a thoughtful exploration of contemporary issues surrounding fame, identity, beauty, social media, and gender. Through its themes, symbolism, and social commentary, the film resonates with viewers on a deep level, inviting them to reflect on their own experiences and the world around them. The themes of self-discovery, authenticity, and the commodification of youth and beauty are universal, making the movie not just a piece of entertainment, but a relevant and timely commentary on the complexities of modern life. Through its poignant storytelling, Mutya Inc. Section E reminds us that true self-worth comes not from external validation, but from embracing who we truly are. Mutya Inc. Section E is not only a narrative that captivates through its plot and themes, but it also excels as a work of visual storytelling. Every decision made by the filmmakers, from the cinematography to the sound design, plays a pivotal role in enriching the film's emotional depth and thematic resonance. In this section, we will dive into the movie's cinematic techniques, exploring how the camera work, lighting, editing, and sound design come together to create a seamless, immersive experience for the audience. These visual and auditory elements are essential to conveying the director's vision, deepening the narrative, and enhancing the emotional impact of the film. Cinematography. Crafting the film's visual language. The cinematography of Mutya Inc. Section E, led by Carla Diaz, is one of the most important factors contributing to the film's success. The visual style of the film is not only aesthetically striking but also deeply connected to the story's themes. Diaz's thoughtful use of camera angles, framing, and shot composition brings the audience into the world of the characters, making their struggles and growth feel immediate and palpable. One of the most significant aspects of the cinematography is how it shifts in tone based on JJ's journey. Early on in the film, during the scenes that focus on her past life as a celebrity, the camera work is sleek and polished, mirroring the glamour of her former world. The framing in these sequences often highlights her in the center, symbolizing her position in the spotlight. There is a sense of precision and control in the shots that showcase her as the focal point, a clear reflection of her fame and public identity. These moments are characterized by smooth, wide shots that emphasize her importance and her status within the entertainment industry. However, as JJ's character transitions into the world of Section E, the cinematography changes in subtle but important ways. The camera becomes more dynamic, following her more intimately, often through close-ups and handheld shots. The shaky, unsteady nature of the handheld shots suggests JJ's internal turmoil and confusion as she struggles to adjust to her new life. By contrast, these moments are often contrasted with wide shots of the school or the surrounding environment, emphasizing her sense of alienation and isolation. This shift in camera technique is a visual manifestation of JJ's emotional state and her difficulty in adapting to the real world outside of the manufactured fame of her past. Additionally, the use of tracking shots plays a crucial role in following JJ's personal journey. As she navigates the hallways of her school or engages in difficult conversations with her peers, the camera often tracks her movements in a fluid, almost voyeuristic manner. This tracking gives the audience a sense of walking alongside her, experiencing her discomfort and growth in real time. These moments invite the viewer to feel as if they are living through JJ's emotional highs and lows, fostering a deeper connection to her character. Lighting, enhancing mood and atmosphere. Lighting plays an essential role in setting the tone and atmosphere of Ang Mutya Ing Section E. The choices made in lighting are often symbolic, adding layers of meaning to the narrative and further emphasizing JJ's internal journey. Early in the film, when JJ is caught in the whirlwind of her celebrity life, the lighting is stark and artificial. Bright, harsh lighting emphasizes the glamour and coldness of the world she once inhabited. It's often clinical and sterile, stripping away any warmth from the environment, underscoring the emotional emptiness she feels despite her outward success. One standout example is the use of lighting during the flashback scenes, which are bathed in neon lights or overexposed brightness. The bright, exaggerated lighting in these moments creates an almost surreal atmosphere, highlighting the artificiality of JJ's fame and the false image she once projected. The cold, clinical feel of these flashbacks contrasts sharply with the more grounded, intimate lighting used in the present-day scenes, emphasizing the stark contrast between her past life and her present journey of self-discovery. As the film progresses, the lighting becomes softer and more natural, especially during the more intimate, personal moments between JJ and her classmates. The school's hallways, once illuminated by the harsh fluorescent lights of fame, now bathe in the gentle glow of natural light, symbolizing JJ's shift toward authenticity. The warmth of the lighting in these scenes mirrors her growing acceptance of her true self, marking a sharp departure from the cold, impersonal world she used to inhabit. In pivotal moments such as JJ's talent show performance, the lighting is particularly significant. The soft, ambient lighting that bathes the stage creates a sense of vulnerability, underscoring the raw emotion of her performance. The audience sees JJ in her most authentic state, free from the glamour of her past and stripped of the artifice that once defined her. The natural lighting captures the rawness of her emotions and the sincerity of her performance, making this moment feel like a true turning point in her character arc. Editing. Creating rhythm and pacing. The film's editing, overseen by editor Lara Santos, is another essential element that contributes to its dynamic and immersive storytelling. One of the most notable aspects of the editing in Ang Mutya Ing Section E is its rhythm. The pacing shifts throughout the film, mirroring the emotional journey of the protagonist. Early in the movie, the editing is faster-paced, with quick cuts that reflect the frenetic energy of JJ's life in the public eye. The rapid editing during the scenes of her past stardom mirrors the constant pressure and whirlwind nature of celebrity life, where moments are fleeting and constantly shifting. As the film transitions to the slower, more intimate world of Section E, the editing becomes more deliberate. The cuts are longer, allowing the audience to linger on moments of emotional significance. In these quieter, introspective scenes, the pacing slows down, giving the audience a chance to connect with the characters and their emotional landscapes. This change in rhythm is especially evident during JJ's interactions with her new classmates, where the long takes and slower cuts give weight to their conversations and the relationships that begin to form. The editing also plays a key role in building tension during the climactic moments of the film. During JJ's talent show performance, the pace of the editing quickens, cutting between her performance and the reactions of the audience. The staccato rhythm of the cuts mirrors the rising tension in the scene, heightening the emotional impact. The quick edits not only build anticipation but also give a sense of the overwhelming nature of the moment, as JJ must confront her past and her present in one fell swoop. The transitions between JJ's past and present are another key aspect of the editing style. The use of cross-cutting between her past stardom and her present struggles allows the audience to see the stark contrast between the two worlds. These transitions also emphasize the internal conflict JJ faces, as she must constantly reconcile who she once was with who she is becoming. The fluidity with which the film moves between these timelines showcases the strength of the editing, as it seamlessly blends the two worlds while allowing each to maintain its emotional weight. Sound design, subtlety, and impact. Sound design in Ang Mutya Ing Section E is equally crucial in heightening the emotional depth of the film. The film's sound design is marked by its subtlety. It doesn't overwhelm the viewer but rather complements the visual storytelling in ways that enhance the overall atmosphere. One of the key elements in the sound design is the use of ambient noise. The school's hallways, often filled with the chatter of students, provide a constant auditory backdrop that reinforces JJ's feelings of alienation. The background noise of bustling students and clattering lockers contrasts sharply with the quiet, introspective moments of JJ's personal reflection, underscoring her isolation within the crowded school environment. The use of silence is another powerful tool in the film's sound design. In key emotional moments, particularly during JJ's moments of self-realization, the sound design drops away almost entirely, creating an overwhelming sense of stillness. This absence of sound intensifies the emotional weight of the scenes, allowing the viewer to fully immerse themselves in JJ's emotional journey. The absence of noise in these moments also reflects the internal quiet that JJ begins to feel as she sheds the noise and distraction of fame, coming to terms with who she truly is. The film's music also plays a vital role in the sound design, particularly in the way it is used to underscore emotional moments. The score, composed by Andres Mercado, evolves alongside JJ's character. Early on, the music features bright, pop-inspired tracks that mirror her celebrity status and public persona. As JJ becomes more introspective, the music takes on a softer, more stripped-back tone, reflecting her personal growth and the quiet moments of self-reflection. The contrast between these musical styles highlights the thematic shift in the story, from fame and artificiality to authenticity and emotional truth. One of the most memorable moments of the film is JJ's talent show performance. The music during this scene is a powerful combination of her own original song, stripped down to its most vulnerable form, and the sounds of the live audience. The music crescendos as JJ reaches the climax of her performance, but it's the audience's silence that speaks volumes, emphasizing the weight of her emotional release and the catharsis she experiences in that moment. The way the sound design captures both the performance and the audience's reaction makes the scene one of the most powerful in the film, a true turning point in JJ's journey. Director's vision and stylistic choices. The director, Marco Lee, has a unique vision that shines through in the film's cinematic choices. His style is characterized by a strong emphasis on visual storytelling, with each frame carefully constructed to enhance the narrative. Lee's vision for Ang Mutya Ing Section E was to create a deeply emotional. The magic of a film is not just found in its script, direction, or visuals, but also in the chemistry between the cast members. The way their performances interlace, how they respond to one another, and how their interactions elevate the story. In Ang Mutya Ing Section E, this cast chemistry plays a crucial role in making the narrative feel authentic and emotionally resonant. From the leading performances to the supporting roles, the way the actors bring their characters to life is key to the film's success. In this section, we will delve into the connections between the cast, share some memorable behind-the-scenes stories, and explore how audiences reacted to the movie when it was released, and how its impact evolved over time. Cast chemistry, a natural connection. The heart of Ong Mutya Ing's Section E lies in the captivating performances of its central actors. JJ, played by Carla Diaz, and her classmates and potential love interest, portrayed by Marco Vieira. The film explores JJ's transition from a glamorous celebrity to a more grounded high school student. And this transformation is at the core of the story. For such a story to resonate, the chemistry between Carla Diaz and Marco Vieira had to be palpable, both in terms of friendship and potential romance. Carla Diaz, known for her dynamic range and depth in drama, seamlessly embodies JJ, the young woman at the crossroads of her fame and her desire for genuine connections. Her portrayal of JJ is compelling because it reflects vulnerability, growth, and a yearning to shed the trappings of her previous celebrity lifestyle. Diaz's chemistry with Marco Vieira, who plays the supportive and down-to-earth character of Aldrin, is electric. From the very first moment they share a scene, the tension between their characters is clear. Vieira's portrayal of Aldrin is one of warmth and sincerity, making him the perfect foil to JJ's internal conflict. One of the defining aspects of their chemistry is the subtle way their characters evolve alongside each other. While JJ's transition is a solitary journey at first, Aldrin's quiet support encourages her to open up and take the leap into a new world. The gradual trust that develops between them is a testament to the nuanced performances by both actors. Their on-screen relationship feels genuine, as they navigate not just their growing feelings for each other, but also the challenges that arise from their starkly different backgrounds. Beyond the romance, their moments of friendship, where they share laughs, setbacks, and shared experiences of personal discovery, build a strong emotional foundation for the film. In interviews, Diaz has noted that Vieira's easygoing nature helped create an atmosphere of trust on set, allowing her to fully embody JJ's transformation. This mutual respect and support were crucial in establishing the natural flow of their scenes, ensuring that their chemistry never felt forced or contrived. In addition to Diaz and Vieira, the supporting cast members, including Section E classmates like Tricia, played by Eunice Lagdamio, and Lester by Joseph Pangilinan, contribute significantly to the film's overall dynamic. These secondary characters, while not as central to the plot, provide important emotional beats for JJ's journey. The camaraderie among these students allows the film to reflect the true nature of high school life, where not all relationships are rooted in romance, but in deep, meaningful friendships that shape who we become. One of the standout moments between the cast comes in a scene where the students of Section E work together to organize JJ's surprise birthday party. The collaboration, humor, and affection shared between these characters feel so real, largely because the cast's chemistry extends beyond their performances. Their off-screen bonds translate into on-screen moments of solidarity and joy, adding another layer to the film's heartwarming atmosphere. Behind-the-scenes stories and on-set interactions. While the cast chemistry shines on-screen, it's often the behind-the-scenes interactions and experiences that truly shape a film's spirit. In the case of Ong Mutya Ing's Section E, the on-set camaraderie was instrumental in creating an atmosphere that allowed the actors to give their best performances. Carla Diaz has mentioned in several interviews how she and Marco Vieira would often rehearse their more emotionally intense scenes together in the quiet of their trailers, discussing the nuances of their characters and exploring different approaches to their lines. This collaborative approach to the material helped build the rapport necessary for their on-screen connection to feel authentic. One of the most memorable behind-the-scenes anecdotes from the set involves the filming of JJ's talent show scene, which was one of the film's most emotional and pivotal moments. While the scene is a mix of tension and release, the actual filming was anything but tense. According to production insiders, Diaz and Vieira spent hours before the shoot, working together to perfect their choreography and vocal harmonies, despite neither actor being a trained singer or dancer. The effort put into these rehearsals, with the whole cast coming together to practice, was a testament to the dedication of the cast and crew to make the talent show sequence as compelling as possible. On the lighter side, Some of the most humorous moments came from the improvisation during the scenes in the school cafeteria. The actors, especially Diaz, Vieira, and Lagdamio, would often improvise playful banter and jokes between takes, which would sometimes end up being included in the final cut. These spontaneous moments of joy allowed the film to have a natural rhythm, where moments of humor seamlessly coexist with the more serious beats of the story. One particularly touching moment occurred on the last day of shooting, when the entire cast gathered for a group photo. Despite the long hours and emotional weight of the final scenes, the actors and crew shared genuine hugs and words of appreciation for one another. Diaz, in particular, expressed how much she had come to value her time working on the film, mentioning that the experience allowed her to grow as an actress and deepen her understanding of the industry. Audience reactions, from anticipation to reception. When Ang Mutya Ing Section E was released on January 15, 2025, it quickly garnered attention, not just for its timely narrative about fame and self-discovery, but for its relatable characters and heartfelt performances. The anticipation surrounding the film's release had been high due to the star power of its leads, Carla Diaz and Marco Vieira, as well as the film's focus on contemporary high school experiences. Early buzz focused on the chemistry between the leads, with many praising how well the actors played off each other. This chemistry was seen as a driving force behind the film's emotional core, and audiences were immediately drawn to the authenticity of their relationship. Upon release, the movie quickly became a sensation among younger viewers, particularly high school students and young adults. They saw in JJ's journey a reflection of their own struggles, balancing the expectations of others with their desire to live authentically. The movie's portrayal of the clash between fame and real life resonated deeply, and many viewers appreciated how Ang Mutya Ing Section E avoided the stereotypical celebrity narrative in favor of a more nuanced exploration of self-worth and growth. Critics, however, were mixed in their reactions. While many praised the film's performances and direction, some found the pacing slow in certain segments. Nevertheless, even critics who were less favorable about the pacing acknowledged the emotional depth that the cast brought to their roles. This speaks to the power of the actors' chemistry, which many felt was the true anchor of the film. Audiences were quick to respond to the heartwarming themes, often sharing their personal experiences through social media and online reviews. Many fans created fan pages dedicated to the film and its characters, further solidifying the connection between the film and its audience. As time went on, Ang Mutya Ing Section E began to develop a cult following. The movie's emotional beats continued to resonate, and its ability to blend lighthearted moments with heavier emotional themes led to repeated viewings. Audiences, particularly those who had watched it upon its initial release, found new layers in the film upon rewatching. They began to notice more subtle details in the performances and the direction, cementing the film's place as a beloved story of personal growth. In interviews following the movie's success, Carla Diaz expressed her gratitude for the overwhelmingly positive response from fans. She mentioned how many young viewers had shared how JJ's journey helped them feel seen, especially in the context of navigating their own pressures and challenges in the digital age. Marco Vieira also remarked on how rewarding it was to see the film connect with so many people, especially given the relatability of Aldrin's character as a supportive friend and confidant. Conclusion: a film that lives beyond its release. The chemistry between the cast members, their collaborative efforts on set, and the movie's emotional resonance with audiences have contributed to the lasting success of Ang Mutya Ing Section E. Through their heartfelt performances and behind-the-scenes dedication, the actors brought a level of authenticity to the film that elevated it beyond a simple teen drama. The audience reactions, both immediate and long-term, prove that the movie is more than just entertainment. It's a film that resonates deeply with its viewers, creating lasting connections and leaving a mark on the hearts of those who experience it. As Ang Mutya Ing Section E continues to be celebrated in film discussions and fan communities, the cast's remarkable chemistry and the shared stories from the production process will remain a key part of what makes the movie so enduring. The legacy of a film often extends far beyond its initial release, leaving a lasting mark on its genre, culture, and the minds of its audience. Ang Mutya Ing Section E, a film that initially captured the attention of viewers with its emotionally charged narrative, engaging performances, and unique portrayal of self-discovery, has gone on to become more than just another teen drama. Over time, it has become a cultural touchstone, influencing both cinema and pop culture while sparking conversations about fame, identity, and growth in the modern world. This section will explore how the film influenced its genre and the cinematic landscape, reflect on its impact on audiences and critics, and examine the significant milestones that cemented its place in film history. Influence on genre and cinema. Ang Mutya Ing Section E carved a niche within the teen drama genre, revitalizing and reimagining familiar tropes through its unique lens. Teen films, especially those exploring high school life and personal growth, have long been staples in cinema, but Ang Mutya Ing Section E took a fresh approach by blending the challenges of celebrity culture with those of adolescence. This combination of fame and the high school experience added layers of complexity that resonated deeply with a modern audience, distinguishing the film from its predecessors. In traditional teen films, the narrative often revolves around typical high school tropes, relationships, fitting in, or finding one's place in the world. While Ang Mutya Ing Section E touches on these familiar themes, it also adds the twist of a former celebrity trying to return to a normal life. This concept of a character who must navigate the pressures of fame while grappling with the desire for authenticity was revolutionary, particularly in the context of today's hyper-connected world. The film's deep dive into how identity is shaped and reshaped in the age of social media and public scrutiny gave it a timely relevance that spoke to modern-day teens and young adults. Moreover, the film's exploration of fame as a double-edged sword was not only a social commentary, but also a fresh take on the often glamorized notion of celebrity. While many films about celebrities typically focus on their rise to stardom or their fall from grace, Ang Mutya Ing Section E took a different route, focusing on the emotional and psychological journey that accompanies the transition from public recognition to personal redefinition. The film's approach to fame was more grounded, highlighting its emotional toll rather than its glamour, and this realism helped break the mold of the genre. Through its bold and relatable narrative, Ang Mutya Ing Section E became an important addition to the teen genre, influencing future films in similar ways. It paved the way for other teen dramas that incorporated real-world issues, such as the complexities of fame and self-image, into their storylines. Its success also helped inspire filmmakers to consider more nuanced portrayals of high school life, moving beyond the typical, idealized depictions of adolescence. Lasting impact on audiences and critics. Upon its release, Ang Mutya Ing Section E struck a chord with a diverse audience. Teenagers and young adults, particularly those grappling with the pressures of social media, fame, and self-perception, found the film to be a reflection of their own experiences. The film's exploration of the internal struggle to reconcile who we are with how others perceive us became an important conversation piece, especially as social media continued to grow in influence. Audiences found themselves relating to JJ's journey of self-discovery and her search for authenticity, which mirrored the anxieties and challenges that many face in the digital age. The movie's appeal was not limited to teens alone. Adults who had grown up with the notion of celebrity culture also appreciated the film's perspective on fame and how it affects mental health, personal relationships, and self-worth. It opened up a broader discussion about the pressures of living in a celebrity-obsessed world and the emotional costs of fame. A film that speaks to contemporary issues. What truly sets Ang Mutya Ing Section E apart is its timely exploration of contemporary issues. The film addresses the impact of social media, fame, and public expectations on a personal level, making it incredibly relevant to today's audience. In an era where social media influencers and celebrities are constantly in the spotlight, the pressure to maintain a curated image has never been more pronounced. JJ's journey of self-discovery feels especially poignant because it mirrors the struggles that many people, particularly young individuals, face in their own lives. By addressing themes of mental health, self-worth, and the complexities of fame, Ang Mutya Ing Section E opens up important conversations that are often overlooked in teen dramas. The film doesn't shy away from depicting the emotional toll that fame can take on a person, and in doing so, it encourages viewers to reflect on their own relationship with identity, image, and self-acceptance. It's a film that doesn't just entertain. It challenges its audience to think about their own lives and the ways in which external pressures shape their perceptions of themselves. The narrative of balancing personal identity with external expectations resonates not only with teenagers but also with adults who may have experienced similar struggles in their own lives. The film's ability to tap into these universal themes is one of the key reasons it has had such a lasting impact on audiences. The impact on the teen drama genre. Ang Mutya Ing Section E has left a lasting mark on the teen drama genre. While many teen films focus on superficial aspects of adolescence, such as relationships, popularity, or high school rivalries, this film digs deeper, addressing the inner turmoil and personal transformation that young people go through. It's a departure from the typical high school rom-com or drama, offering a more nuanced perspective on the challenges faced by modern youth. The movie has set a new standard for teen dramas, proving that it's possible to create a film that is both entertaining and meaningful. By blending elements of humor, drama, and romance, Ang Mutya Ing Section E has opened the door for future films to explore more complex and introspective themes. Its success has encouraged filmmakers to delve into the emotional lives of their characters, exploring not just their external challenges, but also their inner conflicts. Moreover, Ang Mutya Ing Section E has inspired a new wave of storytelling that reflects the realities of contemporary youth culture. It's a film that acknowledges the pressures of social media, the complexities of fame, and the importance of finding one's true self. This shift in storytelling has breathed new life into the genre, making teen dramas more relevant and relatable to today's audience. Cultural relevance and long-term appeal. The cultural impact of Ang Mutya Ing Section E cannot be overstated. In addition to its exploration of fame and identity, the film also sparked important conversations about mental health, the pressures of public life, and the importance of authenticity in a world that often prioritizes perfection. These conversations continue to resonate long after the movie's release, as viewers share their own experiences and reflections inspired by the story. Beyond its thematic relevance, Ang Mutya Ing Section E has also left a lasting impression through its cultural influence. The film's portrayal of friendship, personal growth, and self-discovery has made it a touchstone for those navigating their own challenges in the digital age. JJ's journey serves as a reminder that, no matter how much we are judged or scrutinized by others, we are ultimately in control of our own narrative. This message of self-empowerment has had a profound impact on audiences, particularly young viewers, who see themselves reflected in the story. The road ahead, the film's legacy. As we reflect on the lasting impact of Ang Mutya Ing Section E, it becomes clear that the film's legacy is far from over. It has inspired a new generation of filmmakers to explore more meaningful and authentic portrayals of adolescence, while also encouraging viewers to embrace their true selves and reject societal pressures. The film has created a space for open discussions about fame, self-worth, and personal identity, and its cultural relevance continues to grow as new generations discover its message. The enduring appeal of Ang Mutya Ing Section E is a testament to the power of storytelling and its ability to connect with audiences on a deep, emotional level. It is a film that continues to inspire, to challenge, and to entertain, proving that the best stories are those that speak to the heart of the human experience. A lasting call to action. As we wrap up this deep dive into the magic and significance of Ang Mutya Ing Section E, we encourage you, the viewers, to reflect on the themes and lessons that the film has imparted. Whether it's the journey towards self-acceptance, the exploration of fame's impact on identity, or the importance of true friendship, there's much to take away from this powerful story. If you enjoyed this exploration of the film and its deeper meanings, be sure to hit that like button. It really helps our channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe to stay tuned for more exciting movie deep dives and analyses. We've got more fascinating films to uncover, more stories to explore, and more hidden gems to reveal. So, stay with us and keep diving into the world of cinema, where every story is an adventure, and every movie is a journey worth taking. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to sharing even more movie insights with you in the future. Until then, keep watching, keep exploring, and keep enjoying the magic of film.